Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's spring, time to get back to work on project 1 ton, and first thing, get to work on that old tailgate. Now I've put the tailgate on the bed. Its fitment and body line seems to be not too bad with the tail lights and such. It does have some rust and it has some dents, so I'm going to get this back off of here onto the stand, and we'll take a closer look at that situation. Let's have a quick look at it before I get into doing repair work. Through rust here, guaranteed, because the roll form on the back flange here has some swelled spots. There's one here. There's another swelled spot here and another swelled spot somewhere down here. This is the only spot where the rust is actually pushed through from the inside, so I have to deal with that. Probably have to repair this. Got some mystery rust here. Could be surface rust, could be through rust, but there was a plastic filler panel, trim panel that went along here. That's not going back on. That's gone. And on the top edge, there's a major dent here and another one here. Now this metal that this tailgate's made out of is very stout. May end up just having to knock the high bits out of this and filling these voids up with some fiberglass. It's hard to say. I'll do what I can. And of course, there's another dent here that runs through this body line. This will have to come out and be also repaired. So that's where we're at. We've got 3 major dents and a bit of rust and a full sand down. I hit this area here with just a wire wheel on a cordless drill, and you can see it's just heavy surface rust. Should be able to hit this with the 80 grit on a DA, maybe a little coarser. Media blast that, and that should clean up fine. It appears there's a little dot of through rust here, which I ground out with the grinder. Same here. This was the bad area that I showed you a minute ago. It's through, all the way to here. You can see it down in there. You can see that, to me, looks like it's coming through. So we'll flip the gate over and I'll show you that that roll form seam and just what I was talking about with those swelled areas. Now, these are the swelled areas I was referring to. Things like this, okay, and here, and down here. Now, I can try to just dig this rust out from behind and then flatten the seam back down. Or I can cut this out and try to take the material out and then repair this. It's hard to say what the best option is. The damage is there and it's all the way along. Some of these areas probably, like this one, might actually go right through once the paint is off. It's hard to say what really has to be done, but I'm going to try to get this dug out and from behind with a pick and see where I stand. All right, couldn't pick the rust out from behind. Had to take the cutting wheel, put a slit in here, and then corner cut it, because obviously the wheel is too big to just go straight on. So corner cut it, not a big deal. And yeah, you can see the swelled sheet metal rust slug that was behind there. I'll probably have to extend this one. I did the same down here, and you can see the hole in there. So what I'm thinking now is I'm going to flip this back over. I'm going to run the grinder all the way down this edge and see what's going on. I believe this tailgate isn't beyond repair, but it may be beyond the repair that I actually want to do to it. I ground this whole surface down with the flap disc. This area grew a little bit, got some more through spots. I don't see any other ones except this one. And then I sanded the edge with the DA with 80 grit along here. It seems to be in good enough condition. Now, of course, time is money, and is it worth spending the time to do a major repair as if go and source another gate? But I think I can just put the pieces back in on the underside that I cut out, clean the edge, and patch this, and because it's going to come back. That rust, without taking this whole lip off, that rust is eventually going to come through, and it's going to look like this no matter what I do. So I'm just going to do the minimum I have to get the job done, make it last for a little while. And if I come across another gate in reasonable condition that is like rust free, then so be it. Now, I did take the time, cut and weld in some patches in the spots that I worked on there. There's no point in giving this any extra love. Flip it over and see what's going on the top side for a repair. Now, what I did with this little spot was took these two hammers and used the punch side, knocked that little spot down, hit it with a dab of MIG weld. Now I can grind that off, and that little rusty spot is gone. Quick catch up on the repairs. The two spots or three spots that were here, I knocked them down, filled them with MIG weld, ground them off, same as I did with that one down there. Got a nice little patch cut out here to go in there. Now, I'll show you here, this does have a little bit of a crown going like this. That wobbles on top of there, but this has also been swelled, or pushed out, I should say, pushed out by the swelling of the seam behind. So should be able to cut right out around here, drop the patch in. I want the patch low so that I can top it up with filler. Now, I've demonstrated how to weld patches in other videos. I'm not going to bore you with something I've already done numerous times, but you can see, cut that out, and where those holes are, right? Here's all the rust that was swelled up, holding that up. So we'll get all this flaky stuff out of here, adjust the patch to fit the hole, vice versa. You know how it goes. Oops. And yeah, fish that out of there and weld that in. Piece tacked in. It's sitting slightly low. I put a little handle on it so I could hold on to it so it wouldn't fall down in the hole. Weld helmet out, get busy, tack it in a bunch of spots, quench it with some cold air till it's done. Now it's all welded up. I cut the little handle off, ready to grind down. So I'll grind this down in the same fashion that I welded it. Take a little off at a time and keep the piece cool, so we don't have the least amount of distortion, and hopefully that's the end of the sheet metal work. Okay, all ground up. Patch looks pretty decent. Yeah, there's a few little minor pinholes. This whole area is going to get covered in short strand fiberglass filler, so that will take care of any of those issues. Like I said before, not going overboard due to the condition of this roll form seam on the back having a lot of rust trapped in it. So that being said, let's move on, get some bare spots ground up on these dents, get the pin welder out, and see if we can pull some of that out. Now, the stud welder here doing an awesome job. I put a couple on here. This is pretty much gone, this dent that was here. I went around the outside edges of the dent itself and have pulled this up. Now I've got three more right up the center, and that hopefully will pull most of that out. So basically all I'm doing is the puller that come in this kit isn't that great, so I clamp on with some vice grips. I use a block of wood or whatever I can to disperse the pull weight. Get yourself like a pry bar, get under them vice grips, and just torque that up, pull that dent out. Appears the stud welder has done its job. Nice and level here. So still low here. I'm not going to put the time into it. That will accept a reasonable amount of filler and straighten out, I believe, without any problem. And this was literally like 20 minutes to do that. Just welding pins and pulling and feeling and cutting them off, putting new ones on. So I'm going to tack this one and that one without you guys. Okay, guys, so I'm afraid this video is getting far too long for one episode or part. But yeah, pin welded, pulled these up, way better, way better. There was a high spot here with the straight edge, knocked it down. So I'm going to break off right here and do a second video on doing the filler work repair. That should be a short video. And then, hey, it should be time to throw some paint on it after that. Okay, guys. Hope you enjoyed what I did and what I showed you. Till the next one. Peace out.